fate from access to equality, an intervention to empower women and girls to pursue justice. We highlight the impact of civil society intervention as we bring you stories from stakeholders and survivors in the 2 project districts of Namutumba District and Kamuli.
Iriyo omukyala still iba yali amudizatize nga mulese waka nga atambula butambula yengayira obwire ayira bwire yakozesa oba kambe yakozesanga kaki olwigi yalukola ki yayigulawo olajja okola ati nize tokubandula twa mediatinga ku byalema twamureferringa ku UWONET still
tuba wano nga tuli kimo nga tuli kulankulana emaka gaisu tuzaala baana paka nesaawa enta tulina baana 6 ati ane nasune mu buzibu omunange oyibu wange yabe nasuna mu kale gondi buti nandeka kuwano yandekere kuwano naira eyayirire nagano balansinga makanga okisanire akabozi ke kikulunga katakira aina kuluya imbonanga niye nasomera nankoba nino kuyita obango gaine byenkola ki ebyenkoba buli muntu ngagezi yako omukobako owekyalo kina aye nga takola ki nga tayikirirya ninjabe je madamu Ereni ni mwinyongole ensonga ejo nankoba ati yabe kuki yabe ko UWONET bakuyambe ko balwane babona balwane syaki ensonga ejo ibayeta oyibo wange ebetero oyibo wange bane ndatukire bamusomesya akuze na bansomesya aku bakola naye endagaano eyo iye yatukire eno yagaino gitukirira nge yakolere ki kaleze nati ano nimba hano omunange na jema iyo okola ki okola nge bakobere na jemera ki mupaka na buti yajemere.
These women, why they are continuing to suffer violence is they are poor, they are dependent, they are not economically empowered, even as much as they have the knowledge. But since they are not economically empowered, it is still an issue. They will still fall back. This woman will tell you I have 8 kids and I don't have anything I'm doing. And so I've chased up this man to support me. He's not supporting me. So at the end of the day, even if you arrest him, you'll arrest him and so what? She will still go back to the same position.
So as UWONET, one of the services we provide is the sheltering component. The sheltering component is very essential in that when we receive survivors of GBV, as we are working hard to resolve their cases, we usually require that we temporarily house them like somewhere, especially if there's been cases of physical assault. It's very, very important that we provide them with a safe space. So that's where the shelter comes in. It's meant to be temporary, but it's also a place where women can come, women and children can come and stay. And then while they are being sheltered here, of course, we try to cover whatever needs they may have, like whatever essentials you need in your home, we try and cover them here. For instance, we'll provide food 3 meals a day, we'll provide clothing, we'll provide medication in the event that any of them falls sick. We provide psychosocial support, like I said, if it's especially like a GBV case. Most of them have been through a lot of trauma. So as we're working to resolve their case, we're also working hard to also address that aspect, especially when there are kids involved. So yeah, we provide psychosocial support and of course legal aid.
Nafuna mu obulwaire nga ndwaire nga ndinda musisi yabita nalwala najeyo mulenze yampa ende eyo okundi dandaba mulenze oti yandandaba nabona ngembera yendi bita mutinungi nzira sente njire ku masikani baikunsindika nga baikwenda ki sente nganzira nabitako wa Chaimani yandagiriza ati jeri yekitongole kye bakita UWONET kiyamba kinzo kugemera ku jasuka kikwidandalo oluvene mabona omulenzi wengere banamukola ki yabanamugemamu olwaja ku UWONET yo mulenzi yalumuka yo lwalumuka naja UWONET yali mbi yasigala angekola ki yaenda ndaba kubenda ile kuja kuvamu naye yabawo yakolanga kisoboka nga bansuza bandiisa nga buli kimu bakimpa mu bwetaavu tyasula ku ndala tyasiiba ku ndala nga batuwako ey'emala.
They need care. And sometimes they could come and they needed shelter. Before they came in, we had no shelter. And I personally used to suffer with these victims because most times I could bring them up to my home. Because now you cannot chase a woman who has been brutally beaten. And then you say, you go, we shall see tomorrow. No way. So I used to bring them up to my home. But when they came in and the shelter was put in place, actually, I was relieved.
Nalina obutagemagana wagati wange n'omwami wange. Ensonga enkulu nti yali afunye omukyalo owundi nze yansuulawo. Bwe yansuulawo yaba ng'osayidi ere gy'ali. Kwegamba nga n'abaana takabawa fiizi n'ajja ku poliisi owa mama poliisi byadeema. Deni ya mukiseera n'afuna mukwano gwange yankoba nti eri abakyala ekitongole ekiyamba abantu kya UWONET yoba okola eki yoba oje bajja bankuumira ku shelter eyo ye baabanga ne bankubiriza nti funa ekyokola mu butuufu era nga n'ekyokola kyali bulungi ino. Era naviiranga eyo ku shelter n'ayida mu tawuni n'ayiira kyendidi nti buli kyotandika otandika n'akatono wafuna ki kubanga naviiranga eyo naida nanoonya emirimu wano eno mu tawuni ng'olwisi nja n'apakisa mu hotero bampayo 2,000 naida n'alabirira abaana ntyo n'omwava bizinesi eno kati ndi bulungi tiri bulungi nate tiri bubino solo nsomesa abaana bange nazimba wendikipangisa.
So UWONET comes in to ease our work in terms of fast tracking cases, response, but also coming with something unique, which is the safe shelter. Because oftentimes the Office of the Child and Family Protection Unit, or call them CFPUs, they have been burdened with these survivors and they have nowhere to take them. Some of them used to resort to their homes, of course, which is not it is not professionally allowed, but you find that they have been pushed to the wall. But now the shelter comes in to ease that and also provide something which is within the confines of the law, because the Ministry of Gender, they are the direct supervisors of all the safe shelters in the country, and their representative at district level is our office.
Approach has been multi-sectoral, whereby many stakeholders have been brought on board to make sure that we reduce or eliminate GBV, especially among women. We brought in police, we brought in judiciary, we brought in the Amutumba District Law Government in general, especially the probation office and the community development. We brought in the cultural leaders, the religious leaders, and the women themselves. We also trained, we call them paralegals, I think, and they call paralegals, who are down there, because even UWONET cannot be there all the time at the grassroots.
And there is a very good collaboration with office yaibwe and office ya RDC, the police and the judiciary. Kubanga we have tulina n'abakyala abali kugobwa mu maka because of those issues I have mentioned, because of gender-based violence, sebalwana bakolaki, and they run these offices. So these people babayamba okuba to counsel them, that is one. Two, okubanga babakuma okuboneka nti babayamba okubalwanirira basobole okwirayo okufuna ebintu byaibwe. And if the battle worsens nga tebabawuliriza, we also intervene, the office of the RDC. And if it goes beyond, they go to court. Era bajja ku court, their lawyers represent them.
There's been an enhancement of knowledge of community members on legal regimes. justice referral pathways, and GBV through community outreaches and radio talk shows, which has strengthened referral and dispensation of justice for women and girls.
Twenda okwebaza UWONET nti emisomo gy'egiire etambuza mu bantu n'okusingira irala mu cultural leadership giyambye ino okuba nga eye opener eyambye culture okutegera ati wo kino kibaire kibi kino kibaire kirungi twatandika okusalawo okupromotinga ekirungi twaba nga tutandika okuvumirira ebibi. Waliko meeting yetwalimu abo yebatweteramu with very many stakeholders aberosi n'aba police batestifying mu meeting eyo nti leero emisango eda GBV tufuna mitono ekitegeeza nti the impact eri felt omulimu gukoleibwa okusomesa kwabwe kugirewa wansi aye nga basinze kuba mu center eyokola ebintu ebyo it is the culture institution kubanga iyo buli kantu ekola ki etuuka buli muntu yenna aliko ku culture yagwamu alina ekika kyagwamu alina obuwanga bwagwamu so bwabeeyo kubanga bwe baamala okutusomesere twayira ku magombola gayira ku miruka dayira ku byalo so baba nti there is that cohesive sensitization ey'abantu.
First of all, we've been together as police and the Uganda Women Network. We've always been together in communities for sensitization and awareness because we have a number of people who have been suffering. They've been suffering before. They suffered before because they lack information, especially women. They are not empowered enough. So when we go to the communities together with them, at least it helps. When they hear a word or two, it can help them to know where they can go to access justice. Even after that, where they see there is a need for legal representation, they've always been there. Free legal representation to the marginalized, those who cannot support themselves economically, financially. At least we've been referring. Where we don't go together in communities, we refer cases of people who need legal representation.
In the absence of a nationwide public scheme, legal aid is delivered by CSOs. Barefoot Law is at the forefront of innovations in access to justice, making access to justice and law readily available to vulnerable communities. Through the innovative use of digital technologies, it empowers people to develop legal solutions to their problems.
As we know, the legal information problem is big. The vast majority of people, when we do surveys, we find out outwards of 90% of the people we survey, and this is the same for both rural and urban areas, have got limited knowledge of the law, have got limited knowledge of how to resolve their legal problems. Most of them, when a legal challenge arises, will not take action. So the key thing for us was how do we get this information out there? Now, there are many ways we can get legal information out there. The cheapest of them is using technology. So for example, it is much cheaper for me to call you on phone if you're in Soroti, as opposed to going on a bus. I go all the way to Soroti and I meet you. So we got technology as a way. It is a major tool that we use in order to, number one, reduce the cost of sharing legal information, but then also increase the outcomes that can be gotten through technology. So although talking to you on the phone would help, it is still not the same as going to meet you. So what we have done is we've come up with a series of systems that when we put them together provide something more of a holistic service. So not only do we have the ability for you to call us, you can also interact with us on a video platform through a system that we've built. And so this is where that system comes in. It allows us to not only reach people with technology, but reach them in a much closer, more direct way.
Drawing from a successful pilot implemented with ASF in Acholi, BFL developed digital legal aid services for women victims of GBV.
Barefoot Law, being an organization that is leveraging technology, we bring provision of a technological solution and an operational system that enables video and audio consultations with a lawyer, available on a laptop, housed and present in our offices, both in Kampala and at our rural grassroots offices, available at partner offices. This system and operational platform is meant to enable increased empowerment of women to access legal information, guidance, to act on their justice needs. Essentially what happens with this consultation on a digital platform is first and foremost a person approaches a lawyer, maybe at Barefoot Law, maybe at a partner's office, and they present themselves as people who need legal guidance or legal information. This then can prompt the person to have an initial interaction with them to diagnose whether they have a legal problem or a social problem. Under the FATE project, which is From Access to Equality, where we convene with the ASF, Penal Reform International and UWONET, we have various capacities as partners. Ours here at Barefoot Law is general legal advisory provided using the system to guide people and empower women specifically. However, other partners are more capable and empowered to deal with maybe representation before court.
That because here in Kamuli District I'm like one lawyer, so in the event that maybe a client comes in and I'm either like at court or I'm unavailable to physically see them, instead of giving them a later appointment, they can we can get them an appointment with a Barefoot lawyer there and then. And then of course the good thing about it is that when you're making that appointment, they give you options. You're able to choose someone who speaks the local language, someone who can interact with the client without any issues.
Significantly, there's been increased use of digital platforms by beneficiaries due to familiarization with the technology. In our next episode, we continue to highlight the impact of the interventions as we bring you stakeholders and survivor stories from Buvuma Island and Napak districts.